Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. And all I have to say is, well, look what the Atlantic has done. It has finally woken up from its sleep. And we have a tropical storm Beryl that has finally formed in the Atlantic. And this is, we really can't say that the season is below average yet. And we can't really assume it until you could see. I mean, this storm just popped out of nowhere basically, and look at this tropical storm Beryl. Nothing too strong, barely a tropical storm, maximum sustained winds 40 miles per hour, but it is strengthening and there's a lot to talk about. So before we get into this, please consider liking the video, please consider subscribing to my channel, helps out a lot. Sorry, I say this every time, but it really does help out, so why not, right? And so as of 2:30 p.m. AST, I don't know what AST is, but it was here around, I think, 1:30 p.m. Central Time, and you can see it's a tropical storm Beryl. And let's click for details. So if we go to the map, which is basically shows you where it's going to track, it's definitely going to keep strengthening, not into a hurricane most likely, but that is still possible. If it strengthens extremely much during these phases, the next couple of hours, and it can reach hurricane status, but I doubt it. And I think it'll just basically at this point be a depression, go into a storm, stay steady, and then if the wind shear tears it apart here, then it'll be the end of it. However, if it slightly survives and the wind shear is not as strong as expected, because you know wind shear is also a very constantly changing thing, so if it goes across the Leeward Islands and kind of makes it over here into this area as a disorganized band of showers and thunderstorms, this is a hot spot, guys. This is warm waters, goes right here, it could blow up into a hurricane. So I am just saying that a hurricane is possible. The National Hurricane Center as of now is saying that the wind shear will tear it apart and there's nothing to worry about, but I wouldn't be so quick to assume it, because I mean, this storm came out of nowhere, was unexpected, the models didn't really have a handle on it, and they still don't have a handle on it. So there's a chance for a hurricane or a redevelopment of at least a tropical storm in the Caribbean Sea. So yeah, this is definitely something we need to keep tracking for. You can see the current information. It's moving. I would actually like to show this right here. Tropical storm Beryl, location 10.3 north, 42.3 west. So if you're really interested in that, the wind is at 40 miles per hour, and in order for it to be a tropical storm, it needs to be at least 39 miles per hour. So you can see barely a tropical storm, but it is strengthening. And the movement is at west at 16, which is fairly slow, but most hurricanes don't move too fast. So it's just traveling across here. It's right centered right there, and that's where it's supposed to be at Sunday, 8 o'clock in the morning, right by the Leeward Islands. The pressure is 1,007 millibars. And so nothing too incredible. However, it is definitely possible that it could stay together as a reformed tropical storm, you know, here, go through like I mentioned, and it could develop into a hurricane later on, which it might not, but at this point it is a fairly small system, and the wind shear is further up here. So if it does stay small, it could actually avoid it, but that's again another thing that we need to really talk about. So I would actually like to go to this thing right here first and show you guys that for July, hurricanes are actually just likely. The prevailing tracks right here are likely. You can see the blue is probably like the most likely track or origin where they will go, over here. That's based off previous records. But then if we go to July and into August, you can see that there's a lot more likely and most likely, so it really intensifies the hurricane season around August, and we really need to watch this area here for development, and especially off the coast of Africa. I know this map doesn't show it too well, but you can see this is basically September is basically we need to watch anywhere it could form. It could form here, anywhere you see the orange it could form, anywhere you can see the green you can see it could form, and then where you see the blue it can form. And especially these tracks right here, you can see that a sandstorm might come off of Africa, go right into the ocean, and that might just blow up and go right into Florida, right into the East Coast, right into the Gulf of Mexico, right into the Gulf Coast northern states or southern Gulf Coast states. And this is really something you need to keep an eye on for. And right now we're not even near the peak of the season. The peak of the season is, I'm pretty sure, late August, September, and even into October. It's fairly active still, so that is definitely something we will need to keep watching. Another cool thing I would like to show you is the last 72 hours of basically how much moisture there is in the atmosphere, and you can see that there, right there, is our tropical little storm right there, and it's wrapping around, and it's pretty much grinding its way through here, and it's gonna eventually reach the Leeward Islands. But there's not much to worry about, guys. This isn't going to be a massive storm. It does seem like if it could just cause some shower activity and some thunderstorms, it does not seem like if it will be causing a huge disrupt. It may be a completely different story if it continues to strengthen. If it strengthens a lot in the next couple of hours, and if it exceeds like 50 miles per hour, then this storm may eventually just cross over here. The wind shear is going to try getting at it, maybe weaken it down to a tropical depression. But if it's a tropical depression and it gets to here, bad news, because then it just may explode in growth, may go up here, but it can't even get a Category 1 hurricane at that point. So that is definitely something we need to watch for. There's a potential for a hurricane from this little storm, because this, again, is completely unpredictable. Things change that fast. I mean, like a snap. You basically can't even keep track of it. Overnight, it could increase into a hurricane. We don't know, but at this point, most likely not, because the wind shear just seems very not favorable with it. But again, this was not, I mean, you can see it stays fairly constant. Storm. So if it takes the southern track, it will be more safer. The northern track, it will be a little bit more exposed into the open sea. So this is definitely something we need to keep watching for. And this is basically it, guys. I just wanted to give you an update. Tropical Storm Beryl has formed. I will actually, maybe right now, yeah, again, you can see this is where it is right now, Sunday 8 o'clock a.m. And this it's moving at 60 miles per hour. So again, nothing too incredible, but the winds 40 miles per hour, gusts up to 50 right now. I just saw that from National Weather Service, or NOAA, National Hurricane Center. And yeah, so it definitely is the first, yeah, it is the first tropical storm of the season, because the Alberta was a subtropical storm. So this is the first tropical storm of the season in the Atlantic. And if I want to show you, I'd actually search up the tropical tidbits right now. And if we go to forecast models and go to regions, and let's say tropical Atlantic, because that's where it is right now, you can see it's way down here right now, our little system. And the models aren't really doing a good job. They're just saying, you can see it's going to fall apart in wind shear, and then nothing's going to really, it's right there, you can see, and then it just falls apart. But you can see there's another little storm that we need to watch, and there's a lot of these little disturbances that we will need to be watching coming off the coast of Africa. So yeah, again, the GFS isn't really favoring this. If you go to the ECMWF, aka the European model, you can see also just moving around right there, and then right here this is Sunday, and then right there this is Monday. Now that is Tuesday, and on Wednesday it's out. And if you want to see what happens with it in the actual Gulf, you can see it just falls apart and nothing much occurs. I mean, there's really nothing much. It's right here, if you want to keep track, right there, that little spot, and then here basically just goes right there, and right there, and then just dissipates into this little thing and goes out, and there isn't really much. So there's also a little concern by the East Coast that there could be something developing into a tropical storm. You can see right there it is, and that could develop into something of a tropical character, but most likely not, because of this strong Bermuda high that's just going to tear it apart. And a cold front right here is going to be passing by, and it's just going to sweep it out into the sea, even if it does form. So that's not really nothing to be worried about, but this little system is something to be worried about, because you can see the models are not really agreeing on it. Some are saying it will go farther than others. This is a CMC, which is the Canadian model. Right there, you can see that is a system in the East Coast. By the East Coast, this is the tropical storm. That's still an invest, but you can see right there. This actually, according to the CMC, turns out into a pretty large storm, but this little storm right here doesn't turn out to be much. And yeah, this is something we need to keep watching. You can see there's another one, so this is definitely something we need to keep watching, keep an eye on for. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. hope you guys had a fantastic day and having a fantastic day and will have a fantastic day. And please consider subscribing to my channel. Please consider liking the video. And as always, see you guys in the next episode.